Hello there.
Oh, shut up. Why are you mocking me? Hello, lads. Welcome to Friends at Disney, where we leprechaun friends.
Welcome, friends.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. This is all Jonelle's idea, not mine. Okay?
By the way, we are purposely doing a fake. I'm going to say it's fake because I don't know if it's actually real. Irish accent.
It is okay. I'm faking an accent. You are faking an accent. We do not have this accent.
Yeah, no, and I'm also recovering from sickness. So,
Yes, we are. I'm sorry for the terrible Irish accent, but it's St. Patrick's Day, and we are actually able, for the second year in a row, able to do a St. Patrick's episode.
I was going to say cuz last year, didn't we say like there was not going to be like another St. Patrick's one cuz we didn't think there was another St. Patrick's movie?
We didn't know that there was a second like movie that we could use for a St. Patrick's episode.
Yeah.
Also, Megan is not here because she was not able to watch the movie or anything, but that's because she has been not feeling great over the last week. So that's why she's not here with us. But she's here with us in spirit. She's here. If I need to, I'll put a Photoshop Megan again.
So before we actually start talking about the episode, please like and follow us on Spotify, YouTube, all of the platforms.
Anywhere you listen to podcasts, make sure you like and subscribe because it helps us grow our channel, helps us to make content for you. And that's that's important. We want to make content that suits you. So, that being said, this week's episode, like we said, it's another movie we can use for a St. Patrick's episode, and it's called Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
So, okay. I first originally, like, we were supposed to record last week for this episode. You guys are obviously watching this on time and have no clue what I'm talking about. But, so I initially watched this when I was lethargic and sick. I woke up, 2 little leprechauns running around, and I was like, I don't know what the hell's going on. I have no clue what's going on.
To be fair, this is a hard movie to watch.
Okay, well, this is where I was then going to go into it, was today I rewatched the movie, so that way, like, I was freshed up on it going into the recording. I kind of liked it.
I did too. It was hard to watch.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's hard because this movie came out in 1959, which is the same year as Sleeping Beauty, which was our episode 2 weeks ago. Check it out.
It's that one's birthday.
It was my birthday episode, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, this episode is a live action movie that came out in 1959. This is today our oldest live action movie. And it wasn't recommended by Jonelle.
I know. Normally I'm the one to recommend these old movies.
And so it's hard to watch because it's so dated. But I did enjoy it. Like, it was hard to understand at first because you're just trying to get used to the accent at the beginning of the movie and how they're talking.
Well, not gonna lie, the beginning part for me wasn't the accents. It was kind of all of the different plots going on in the movie.
For me, it was just trying to get a sense on, like, trying to filter, like, understand the chaos that's happening, especially when we got to, like, the bar. But also, like, the accents, all these actors had this Irish accent that I just couldn't, and they were thick accents too. So I was trying to process through this to where I'm used to hearing it and what I'm listening to.
Well, I mean, I think part of it, yes, there was thick Irish accents, but like, I don't know if you've noticed this, but like a lot of these older movies that we watch, and I think this is just solely due to how these movies were created, but there is a special kind of sound that you hear from the actors and actresses in these type of movies.
The sound is a lot more raw. Like, they don't have the technology we have to really polish the sound, voices of the actors and actresses, and so their voice is a lot more raw and unfiltered.
Yeah, which honestly, like, as I was watching this, like, this movie kind of reiterated why I keep suggesting all these older movies. And like, honestly, part of it makes me feel like I may have been born in the wrong era.
I personally believe that just with how I act and like where my interests lie. But it's super interesting because I told Jonelle this when we were trying to figure out when we were going to record this episode. But this movie is very was very highly acclaimed for Disney. You don't hear about this movie ever nowadays.
No.
But Jonelle, you can fact check me right now on this on your phone. But when I was doing research on this movie, it was like being called one of Disney's best movies of the time, like of all time. And I even think it has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes,
Um,
which
uh,
which Jonelle's gonna fact check me on.
not Darny, Darby.
And so it's weird to think about a movie that was so highly acclaimed and was praised for its special effects and what it has to offer in all of its aspects for the time, but you don't hear about it now.
Sorry, I was just hearing noises. Has a 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb.
Okay, we don't care about IMDb. Search Rotten Tomatoes. Because that's going to give us
Rotten Tomatoes. All right, this is the Rotten Tomato. Yes, it does have a 100% tomato.
100% tomato score with a 77% popcornometer, which is the audience rating. Which, in all honesty, a 77 is not bad for an audience rating. And
That's
so
a thick, juicy tomato, though.
that's a big and juicy tomato. And
Oh
so,
my gosh, sorry. Sorry, viewers, but I'm looking at myself up here. There's also another us down here. And
we got monitors so we can see you.
yeah, I just confused myself.
um, but I think that's the weirdest part for me is just it was so highly acclaimed by critics, but you don't hear about it now. There's no remnant of it.
Do you think that, like, I don't know, this has to be like in a school somewhere for one of those VHS, you know?
I want to see this movie remade. I think it could be. I think it would be so nice to see this remade. Like, don't get me wrong. I like its old version. It has so much charm to it.
Knowing
But
how they've done remakes, though, it's gonna end up something like Zapped or like, you know,
what does that have to do? That's a decom.
yeah, I'm just saying they're gonna try and make it that type of style.
I can. Well, they still remade that darn cat. They remade Shaggy Dog.
They also remade Adventures in Babysitting.
That one they did make into a decom. But they also remade Herbie, and none of those were made into decoms though that I just listed off. So they don't
I mean,
have to be
Herbie,
decom.
when that one was remade, though, was in like the earlier 2000s. We're in
Yeah,
2020.
I know, but I think that this movie would be so interesting to see in theaters nowadays because it's so different.
I personally want it to stay the same.
I love it. Don't get me wrong, but we're hitting that topic that we hit every time we talk about these old movies where no one's gonna watch them.
Except me, apparently.
And us.
Hey, I have to keep throwing out majority of the older movies so far.
Hey, I have my own bucket list of movies and stuff. I'll be right back. I gotta take care of Casper Jr.
And mini segment with Megan.
With his eye.
All right.
I did not watch this movie. I had a rough couple of days. So when Sean was like, "Do you want to watch a movie?" I was like, "I have a migraine. If I watch this movie, I will die." So I laid in my bed.
But it does fall into these themes of these older movies. How do you feel about the style and cinematics of these older movies?
Okay, there's two parts of me that I'm like, this is like watching history, and I really appreciate that we still have it, and it's wonderful, and it's like looking back in time. But on the other hand, I have this thing called ADHD. My brain can't focus normally, and these movies are a lot less stimulating than, like, I don't know, Into the Spider-Verse, which is like literally throwing bright neon colors at you all the time. So it's really hard for me to watch it. And luckily, I have found some ways that you understand crocheting to help, like allow my brain to process through those. But it's still, there's this thing Sean and I talk about called the wall of awful.
Mhm.
It's a neurodivergent term, which is like doing a task that is like your brain hates doing. So, like, for example, Sean hates doing the dishes. And so, like, it's not just doing the dishes, it's like you have to put on the gloves, you have to get the right temperature of water, you have to scrub the dishes, put them in the dishwasher. So, to even get to the dishes, you have to like make your way to the kitchen. And sometimes making your way to the kitchen is the hardest part to start the job. And I feel like,
And Casper goes again.
do, 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 do. Yeah, and I feel like there's a wall of awful like watching these older movies because once we start watching them, we generally enjoy it. Like I really enjoyed Candle Shoe.
I am so sorry for forgetting about some of the themes in that movie.
It's fine, we're fine, everything's fine. Uh, what Jonelle is talking about is I am an adopted child, and so adoption like storylines trigger me. I'm getting a lot better as I get older, but it's really funny watching a movie and being like, oh, there it is. It's
Yeah.
it's the reason why I can't watch Once Upon a Time. And Sean has to like watch through like TV shows or at least the first season to be like, is this Megan appropriate? Like, it's not that I can't watch blood, guts, and gore. It's is there an adoption storyline? Is Megan gonna be okay emotionally?
PTSD. We love it. But
Mm.
now that Casper Jr. is taken care of, thank you for the welcoming Megan to our mini segment.
Thank you, thank you.
And now we will bring back our co host of today's episode, Sean.
Hi, everyone. Woo! It's great to be here.
Megan, you did a wonderful job on answering my questions and keeping the episode going.
Anyways, as I was saying, I appreciate you, honey. Anyways,
I'm just the third wheeled friend here.
Let's be honest, I'm usually third wheeling you two.
it's true.
Yeah.
Sorry, Megan was saying
Until
about
it comes to a hug.
Anyways, no, Megan was saying about how she's normally the third wheel out of the three of us. We're idiots together. If you
Yes.
haven't, if you couldn't tell by now,
Yes.
but no, the reason I would want it remade is because I don't want them to really change anything, but just update it, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that fresh new look and better quality of like effects and stuff like that. Because the movie itself is fine as it is.
I just seeing how movies have been changed today and a lot of like other things where they're making the books into movies or they're turning them into series. It's just they're really taking aspects that like people really remember on and really trying to hone in on those for the remakes. And I don't want that to happen, but unfortunately, like that's what I see happening is they're going to take those key components and make it the highlight of the movie and still forget all of those minor details.
Well, yeah, so we are let me just I want to give you guys a rundown of like what happens in this movie really quick, just because obviously I doubt any of you guys watching this have seen it. If you have, I commend you. But basically, this movie takes place in Ireland and is about this guy Darby O'Gill and his daughter who have some kind of like estate that they are like don't really own, but they hold a position of power that gives them like governing over this estate. And the Lord wants to have someone else replace Darby O'Gill because he's up there in age. And so when Darby learns this, he we first see him. He's in an inn and he's telling stories about how he had encountered the king of the Leprechauns, King Brian, I think his name is,
Mm-hmm.
and how King Brian is like, because the rule is that if you catch a leprechaun, they have to grant you 3 wishes. But King Brian outwitted him and made him wish on a 4th, because along with that rule is like, if you catch a leprechaun, you get 3 wishes, but should you wish a 4th, you'll lose all of it. So King Brian tricked him and he was telling that story. But when he learns that the Lord wants to replace him and make them move out, basically evicting them in a sense, Darby goes to find the King of the Leprechauns again to get his wishes and outwit the king and stuff. And so he ends up basically being kidnapped in a sense by the king and brought to the land of the leprechauns, where the king is like, I saved you, because the king treats him like an old friend.
Mm-hmm.
And Darby ends up outwitting him and trapping him till he makes all 3 of his wishes. I think he wastes 2 of them.
And everyone in the men in the town think he's kind of nuts.
Depending. Some of them think he's like genuine. Others, the younger types, think that he is lost his damn mind because you're talking about seeing leprechauns. And this is a Catholic town too, because it's in Ireland. And so they end up continuing on with Darby trying to like figure out what he wants to wish for, because he wants his daughter, Katie, I think her name is,
Mm-hmm.
to be taken care of.
I like Katie a lot.
And this guy that the Lord wants to replace Darby is living with Darby, and it's young Sean Connery. Like this is like in his early.
His name in the movie though,
I don't remember.
I wish I don't think they really formally used his name.
They did. I just don't remember it.
I don't remember.
And so Katie ends up getting sick and stuff, and to the point where she's basically on her deathbed, and Darby uses his last wish to have him be the one that this carriage basically takes, this death carriage, because the death carriage is here to take Katie, but he's like, no, I'll take me instead and save Katie. And King Brian tricks Darby into making a 4th wish after he's in the death carriage on his way to wherever Irish hell or heaven, Irish afterlife is, because it undoes the wish, so it takes Darby out of the carriage, completely saved. Katie is still saved, and the death carriage is on its way. It's a cute movie. There's just a lot to it.
I gotta say though, like as we watch this movie, we didn't watch it together, but like I will say that like this type of style of older movies made me kind of realize like what about these older movies that I truly value. And I hate to sorry younger people of the same age as me, but I like the traditionalism that comes with the symbol of relationships.
I see what I appreciate is all movies have a plot. That is true. All movies have a plot line. But when you look at a lot of movies nowadays, that plot line is very linear and it's sped up. Like people nowadays don't want to sit through
People
2.5
don't
to
have an
3
attention
hours.
span that much.
People don't have an attention. They want things to get going, unless it's like a special case like Avengers Endgame that was like 3 hours long. You know, Um, but people don't like it when things lollygag. But I see movies like this, Darby O'Gill, hell, even Pete's Dragon from 1977, that darn cat, they slow things down a bit, but they're still fun to watch. You're seeing these relationships develop. You're seeing a lot more than a basic plot because you have a couple other side things going on
Well,
that help the story.
yeah, and then like this is kind of where this B plot goes with Katie and her love interest is just like this traditionalism sense, and then like these movies always have the aspect of slowing down and appreciating what is in front of you and enjoying the moment of life.
It's true because the first scene we actually have in the movie is this neighbor popping in and being like, Katie, why aren't you married yet? Why don't you have a guy that's floating your boat? If you know what I mean. And she's like,
You
oh,
got fertile legs, lad.
and she's like, well, I don't really care for anyone here,
Yeah.
and I'm enjoying
She
my
is
life.
the Belle.
She is a Belle.
Belle. We love ourselves, Belle. The independent queen.
Does that make what's his face pony like Gaston?
I guess so.
That's weird.
Huh.
Pony is basically in short form a brown noser trying to kiss up to the Lord to get a position. Um, but no, like these movies, they have so many more aspects that let you enjoy the film. Like it's not just about the leprechauns.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
It's not just about the townspeople. Like there's this random side plot where Darby O'Gill went and got a church bell
Yeah.
and stuff. At the end of the movie, the guy who Sean Connery plays gets into a fight with that guy Pony, who's a
Oh,
brown noser.
okay, honestly, that was pretty funny.
It was funny, but it's like okay, like the short little bit.
Yeah.
Like they have all these small interactions that make the world feel more alive beyond the basic plot. Like when I think of like let's use Beauty and the Beast as an example. You don't see any other real interaction with the otherness of the world. It's anything pertinent to the main timeline. You don't see Belle have a one-off exchange really with any other of like the town people, except for the librarian guy, bookshop guy. Like you don't really see her have interactions with the bimbos that love Gaston.
Ugh.
You see Gaston interact with everyone else because they love him and they praise him. But they have all these other interactions to build the world as a whole to develop the characters in other ways that help the plot. Like how they think that Darby O'Gill is mad about talking about the leprechauns, but he's sitting there having a relationship with the leprechaun.
Also, I'm not about to cry. My eye just itches. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, viewers.
What did you think about the special effects?
Oh, where to begin?
Dated. Very, very dated.
Yeah. Oh. Just that. The stuff being outdated.
The it the special effects were great for their time. Like a lot of the critics reviews I read praised how good the effects were for its time. Because it relies heavily on special effects. You have little people. So you got the leprechauns. But then you also have this character called the Banshee and stuff that they had. Then they had the Death Coach. All supernatural things. And like even the leprechauns had magic as well. And so to be able to animate that in the late 1950s, that's impressive. But that's like the one thing I would love to see, like if it was redone, how would those effects look
Would
in
change.
today's technology?
I think it would need a modern remastering rather than
I would agree with that if it were entirely possible. Because to remake the movie, to redo the special effects, but leave everything else as it is, wouldn't line up right given quality. Because
I feel like somewhere there's got to be someone who can do it. There's someone who can go through hell and back of I hate old movies because they're a pain in the butt to remaster, but they know how to remaster it because they are the master.
and when she's talking about like a true remastering, where it's like the movie's the exact same, right?
Yeah,
Nothing changes, but you're updating it to basically like today's graphics,
yeah.
which is nearly impossible because you'd have to refilm the movie with higher quality um cameras.
I think it could be done though. I think there's someone out there who could do it. And it's not AI, you guys.
AI would butcher this so bad.
I feel like we should make that into a future episode, not gonna lie.
I think it's possible.
AI in
Mhm.
Disney.
What did you think of the little on the intro credits?
Uh-huh.
There was this message that popped up from Walt Disney. Did you read it at all?
No, I didn't.
It was basically like this thank you letter to King Brian, the leprechaun in the movie, the king of the leprechauns in the movie, and like helping out with the movie. Like that's something I love. Like Walt Disney had this like sense of like he knew they weren't real, but he treated them like they were.
Yeah.
And I love that. Where he's like, nope, we want to give thanks because they helped out with this movie. They were like there, they let us film them, all those things. And I just love that. Like it's just a little bit that's just like it doesn't matter. It's a movie, but it's real. It makes it feel more like it warms my child heart.
It's essentially with a non-animated version, but like, in animated movies where you have the book. Something similar to that.
No,
Getting you into the scene of the movie.
no.
And we have a friend here who looks defeated. I don't know. At least that's how I would think of it, is getting myself centered and ready for the movie.
I give up.
And
Hello?
Megan, welcome back.
Thank you.
Um
Oh, your spot's warm.
Oh my god, I just snorted.
That's beautiful.
Oh no. Okay. I don't know why. Okay. I don't have ADHD, but like it's just hard to sit still,
Oh yeah.
especially when the couch doesn't have the back right here for me to like
Digest, yeah. It's
Yeah.
a very deep couch.
I'm not the fan of the deep couch. No, I know. It's okay.
Sorry, audience, I just farted.
We will ask Sean to cut this part out.
Okay, sounds great. Anyway, what were we talking about before?
Before this, we were essentially talking about if they went in, if there is, okay, so Sean was talking about how Walt Disney made like a little saying at the beginning of the movie that was to King Brian the Leprechaun, as if he was like writing a letter formally to the non-existent leprechaun.
Okay.
I was essentially relating it to kind of like getting into the scene of the movie with like how in animated movies they do the books, but Sean has a different point of view on that. But I mean, I think it's okay. So this is gonna, for all you smut lovers, you understand. But
Ooh.
you know how when you open up a book, there's a part the author dedicates the book to.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. There's a book out there. I don't know which book it is, but I know that the dedication to the book is to all the smut lovers, and then it says turn the page, and then it says good girl.
Oh.
If you know, you know.
Oh.
But it's kind of like that. Like you're getting prepared for what is coming in the movie by that dedication from Walt Disney. Like we know that Walt is essentially setting the scene of this fantasy world to the leprechaun, and you're being introduced to that,
Mhm.
is how I like to think of it. And when Sean gets back, we will hear that point of view. But yeah, I just related it to dedications of a book because that intro specifically, a person who reads smut is going to read that and they're going to be like, well, this author has
Gets it.
got me down.
This author gets it.
Yeah. So that is essentially Walt's way of saying good girl for the Irish loving film watchers in the 60s.
Do you celebrate St. Patrick's Day?
I always hated St. Patrick's Day, to be honest,
Thank you.
because like I lived on the reservation and the kids took it too seriously for like if you weren't wearing green, and they would like pinch you so hard that sometimes they would take parts of your skin out.
Oh, we would get bruised.
Yeah, like I would have bruises, there would be blood, like it's not cool. And
I did that.
but also I hated the fact that like you're supposed to wear green on St. Patrick's Day. Like I just want to wear what I want to wear. I don't want to have to try and coordinate to that day for the color.
Right, right. It was always a happy accident when I wore green. And okay, here's the other thing. My family is full of people who love alcohol. Um, it just was a day to get wasted.
That, yeah, that's the last thing, is that people use it as an excuse to drink.
And
Like Cinco de Mayo.
uh, yeah, I mean, look, y'all celebrate how you want to celebrate, but also like you have responsibilities to like your families, your coworkers, you just people in general to not be so drunk that you're like have to go to the hospital because you're throwing up on your own vomit. Not throwing up on your own vomit, like choking on your own vomit. Like,
I think it's okay to drink and celebrate on St. Patrick's Day, but I don't think it's okay to, like, I'm personally not a person who drinks to get drunk. And part of this is to my religious values, but like, I personally think you're going to have a better time if you drink for the occasion and not get drunk, because you're going to be feeling better the next day too. Like, there's nothing wrong with the buzz. It doesn't get you drunk and, like, you know, with headache the next day. Um, but, you know, I don't think that St. Patrick's Day is the excuse to get drunk, make stupid decisions just because it's Leprechaun and known as the beer day, essentially.
mm-hmm. You see, as someone who drinks occasionally, like very occasionally, I just, it's more like I drink like socially, but also every once in a while, Sean buys me wine on that very rare occasion. And if that wine's good, because I have definitely had very bitter sour wine that I could not finish.
I need to get you some huckleberry wine and then we can actually finish the bottle because I never finish it.
It's so good.
But now we are going to bring back our next host again, Sean.
I'm back, everyone.
I guess I'm just the permanent host for this episode. I feel kind of special right now.
Thank you so much for getting Casper Jr. to bed.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you for being a
Supportive parent and husband. Thank you. Thank you.
I would give you a kiss, but you're currently
I was just gonna say, you know, thanks for joining in on the podcast again. Oh yeah, can you shake the screen so that way, because Sean
No.
pulled up the
I pulled up the little thing that's on the intro, and it says, "My thanks to King Brian of Knocknasheega, which is the king, like the land of the leprechauns, and his leprechauns whose gracious cooperation made this picture possible." Now, I heard what you were saying about like the book dedication and things like that. My thing about it is that it's different than just trying to get them into the mood, like getting like this setting the scene. Because Walt Disney likes to make his pictures come alive. Like when they were advertising sending out like these videos about like the development of the haunted mansion. He would say like, "Oh yeah, we're going to have a haunted house, but we got to catch all the ghosts first." Like it was without question. He didn't try to like create that division of real versus fantasy. He made his entire world come alive, which is what I appreciate about that intro, because it wasn't just some dedication. It was like, oh no, the leprechauns made this possible. We like brought them in, like they cooperated with us. Like he made it come more alive
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. So that's why I'd say it's different than like the storybook intro, because the storybook intro is just the storybook intro. It's like you're reading a story. But this one, it's like it's a live action movie. But even though there's fantasy elements that as adults we have a general understanding that they're not real, as far as we're concerned. But Walt Disney made that stuff come alive regardless,
Mm-hmm.
throughout his in a lot of the different things that he worked on, which I appreciate. That's what I meant to say. Took a little bit to get the words there.
It's okay. You know, we have.
What were you guys? I heard you guys were talking about St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yeah, we were talking because, like, generally, I actually don't like St. Patrick's Day.
I have nothing against St. Patrick's Day.
I hate being pinched. I hate being forced to wear green, and I hate drinking.
Here's the thing. The pinching thing is weird.
I don't get the pinching.
I don't get that one either.
Can someone explain the pinching?
Let us know if you know, please.
I like the pot of gold. I'll take the pot of gold.
Here's the thing. I have some fond memories of St. Patrick's Day. I remember when I was in kindergarten, I think it was kindergarten or first grade. I remember me and my classmates walked into our classroom and we had set leprechaun traps to try and catch a leprechaun. When we walked into the
So precious.
When we walked into the classroom, there were little green footprints everywhere. Our leprechaun trap was sprung.
Oh my gosh, I know what you need to do on Christmas Eve now.
In the toilet. It was green with fake green poop in the water.
Sean, I know what you need to do for Christmas Eve now. In front of your fake fireplace, put like snow on the outline of your shoe steps to make it look like Santa.
Yeah. But so I have fond memories. I've always had fond memories of St. Patrick's Day. And here's the thing. I'm a person that tries to find the joy in something that doesn't make a lot of sense commercially. Like a lot of people hate Valentine's Day because they have the point of view of you should love your partner every day of the year and stuff like that. Or it's just a commercial holiday to sell roses and chocolate. But I have a different point of view of Valentine's Day after I was an RA, and I did. And that's a long story that I can say for a Valentine's episode.
RA stands for resident advisor.
Assistant.
Oh.
In this context, it was resident assistant. But
Sorry, this is gonna bother me.
gotta fix the ears. Those are my elemental ears.
Those are so cute.
I know. I'm really proud of that. But anyways, so
Weird.
I actually really enjoy Valentine's Day because I found my own meaning to it that makes it more special and fun for me. And I can share that with you all if we ever get to do a Valentine's Day episode. So far, this is our second year and we've missed up on Valentine's Day. But when it comes to St. Patrick's Day, I don't know. I guess I'm still trying to like figure out how I can better enjoy it because I don't drink. Period. I have never drank. Jonelle knows this.
I know we had a
Uh,
thing
We still
for if he
we
was.
still have a thing. I will let that go until the end of my life.
Yeah, so there's a condition to get him to drink.
Yep, there is a condition. I told you there is one condition that I would allow myself to drink with
Yeah,
Jonelle.
and right now that's looking like it's not gonna happen.
Um, but so I don't drink. Period. So obviously St. Patrick's Day and drinking, not for me. The pinching thing, that's dumb and kiddish. I don't know.
I always hate it because people pinch so hard. Like they always made it a point on St. Patrick's Day to pinch 10 times harder.
Especially if you figured out how to pinch. Like it's, and I'm not talking about like grabbing a big chunk of skin and like trying to squeeze it. It's the baby pinch.
No, yeah, no.
Tiny baby pinch.
Everyone would always do like dig their nails into you.
Mm-hmm.
And that hurts so much.
See,
If you do that on St. Patrick's Day, please stop unless it's consensual to the person receiving the pinches.
just be aware. I remember when I was in 5th grade, our teacher had to have a talk with us because someone pinched someone, and the person that did the pinching got punched in the face by that person she pinched.
I would come home with blood sometimes from the pinching. Like, it's not okay. That's why I'm saying, like,
It's
get
yeah.
consent to pinch someone that hard.
But here's the thing. I like if we want to make something fun with St. Patrick's Day surrounding leprechauns, sure. I don't see why not. They're leprechauns. We don't do more with like baby cupids on Valentine's Day. And I think there can be a fun in St. Patrick's Day if we can figure out how we're supposed to a nice way to celebrate it that's brings more meaning to the holiday.
See, I think this is also like part of the United States, I guess. We just like to have holidays for a reason to drink, it feels like. Valentine's for wine, New Year's. We're celebrating a new year, so you gotta
Champagne.
champagne bottles.
Thanksgiving, you break out the beer to get rid of the headache from the politics talk.
Ugh.
And 4th of July, you get to blow stuff up and drink and have a barbecue. It's the most American thing you can do.
Cinco de Mayo, Margaritaville. I hate to say it, but that's how we are down in Margaritaville.
Christmas and Easter, I don't think.
No. Okay, so when you said Thanksgiving for beer, my family for Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's vodka tonics, gin and tonic, whiskey, brandy, wine, like you name it. Because those are, for like, most people, wine is a social drink. My family, social drinks is vodka and whiskey and brandy.
My dad just does rum. My dad likes rum every once in a while. Not really anymore though.
Oh, that's another thing for Christmas. Spiced rum. Mm.
But no, like I think that St. Patrick's Day can be a fun holiday if you can find a decent way to celebrate it. Like I remember when I was in elementary school, my second elementary school because I went to 2 different ones. I had invented leprechaun tag, where it's me trying to chase a bunch of leprechauns.
Ah.
And I would run around being like, come back here, you little leprechaun. Running around the playground chasing my friends.
But I mean, like,
Last year, we, like everyone, the only thing I really ever see anymore about St. Patrick's Day is the luck of the Irish. Like, no one cares about St. Patrick's Day. No one does.
I mean, they do.
No, but not in the way that, like, Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Not in the way that, like, you have, like, these different plans that
It's straight up like you go find your Irish pub and go drink. That is the new celebration of St. Patrick's Day.
Pretty much. Or then you watch The Luck of the Irish. Or now this movie.
We gave you another one.
We gave you another one. A little bit better. But I think it's worth it to try. Maybe that's a task that we come up with. We find a better reason to celebrate St. Patrick's.
Hey friends, this is Editing Sean here. I just wanted to interject in this episode because while we were in this episode, we're talking about why St. Patrick's traditions just kind of suck. And so after this episode, we were researching exactly what we were talking about out of curiosity of if there's anything more to St. Patrick's Day traditions besides drinking being the biggest part of it. And we were curious about the leprechauns aspect, given that the episode is about Darby O'Gill and the Little People, and St. Patrick's Day and leprechauns are kind of intermingled together, and we were curious when that started. Because St. Patrick has nothing to do with leprechauns, but leprechauns are very associated with St. Patrick's Day. And so we did some searching, and well, look at what we found. We went on Google and searched when did leprechauns become part of St. Patrick's Day, and lo and behold, it was our movie that we're talking about today. Darby O'Gill and the Little People, released by Disney in 1959, is a big reason why leprechauns are associated with the holiday now, and they're being part of obviously Irish folklore. But we thought that was pretty funny to learn that Disney is the reason for a very popular part of a holiday in the US. Not surprising given Disney's impact on our culture, but we just wanted to share that with you guys. So, back to the episode.
Maybe we should make it a Disney outing. A Friends of Disney outing.
Mm-hmm. I actually do have green St. Patrick's ears.
Man, I really hate wearing green. Okay.
Okay, you can't get rid of the green on St. Patrick's Day. You just can't. Sorry.
I just don't want to be honestly, every time when it's St. Patrick's Day, I forget I'm supposed to wear green. I just want to wear what I want to wear. And if I happen to wear green, then cool. If I don't, please don't pinch me for the love of God, because I don't remember what day it is and I am just trying to live.
I just wish that people had a whole better, more wholesome nature to St. Patrick's Day. Because, look at the things you see in the store. Kiss me, I'm Irish. It's a lot more smutty, grungy, not as, nice. Not, I'll be your Valentine. Not, I'm thankful. No Merry Christmas. Kiss me, I'm Irish.
Honestly, yeah, a lot of the Irish stuff. Oh, sorry, I'm now just thinking about kind of how you looked at me when you did that. I'm like, oh.
I know.
I was like, that's not kind of grossing me out.
Okay, but it gave the message I needed it to send.
Yeah, just don't do that to me again. Megan, that's for Megan, not me. Megan, you can have all your husband's smut. I just heard an ew down the hallway, guys. In case you guys don't know, Ace. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm Ace. Hi, asexual. Who? Moving on.
Okay, so
As you were saying before you broke me.
I broke myself too. I got really sidetracked by that, and it broke me.
Let's move on from it, please. I'm not proud of it.
Well, my laughs sound like a monkey.
Anyways, I just demonstrated the differences between the holidays commercially. Continue.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna point out that I go into the Dollar Tree now a little more often because I also, outside of the podcast, now have my own business, and I will not sponsor that right now, because for the sake of the podcast. But when you look at the St. Patrick's Day stuff, a lot of it is just green hats, a green necklace. anything you can wear green, just to wear green. And then you have stuff like that.
And like there has to be more to this holiday than just wear green.
Wear green and
Drink.
kiss someone and drink.
Exactly. Like it's sad that we celebrate this holiday, commercialize the holiday, but we can't create better meaning for the holiday.
Where did the leprechauns even come from?
I don't know. I
Man,
would Google it, but that'll break our flow here.
yeah. Speaking of which,
Hmm.
I was like, our flow is almost going to come to an end.
You're not wrong. We are hitting time. It's been 48 minutes, so
There is a few spots you got to cut out.
I believe it.
You can keep in the oh my god, mini segments of Megan.
But
Just cut out the part where she toots.
chances are they didn't hear it on the podcast.
Yeah, but then she went and then
okay.
went and disclosed it that she farted.
Oh, okay.
So also delete this part too.
Okay. Anyways, no, I don't know. This is my ask to you guys now. What do you think should be a better meaning behind St. Patrick's Day, besides the story of St. Patrick? Besides that, or maybe there's something within that we can better expand upon. Because St. Patrick's Day nowadays is a joke.
I don't know. If anything, I think more of like, okay, so you always know how they say like at the end of a rainbow, there's like a pot of gold. Okay. And then I start thinking of the guy who's like, somewhere over the rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I think of the video where it's like double rainbow. And I'm like, what the fuck happens to the pot of gold if there's a double rainbow? See?
What happened? Maybe there's two pots of gold,
But
but on opposite ends.
well, here's the thing. But if you look at a double rainbow, it's really kind of interesting phenomenon to be standing in. Because you're in the first, like, you're in a reflection of the first rainbow's hue into the second one. Because there's distance between the first and second rainbow, horizontally and vertically. But because it's essentially a reflection of that light duplicating at, I would want to think an exponential type of rate if I'm thinking about it mathematically. But like within the variable of the first rainbow and the second rainbow, the colors of when you're standing in between it is much lighter, and it's almost like you're in a different world. Is the best way of how I think about it. And the only way how I know about this is because I was walking home one day and then it had just finished raining and the sun came shining down and there was a double rainbow. And I was in the middle of two fucking double rainbows. In the middle of two rainbows. I can't tell you how cool that was. That was so cool.
See, my experience with the double rainbow is they were actually merged. So it went red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then immediately restarted.
Oh,
Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple.
So they were kind of like legitimately stacked.
They were literally stacked, and I saw the bend.
That is so weird because all the double rainbows I have seen, it's typically a reflection of the first rainbow of, you know, the water droplets in the air that the light is reflecting on into the other area. And then there's this space between the two rainbows that has this different light of hue because of the reflection from the sun. And like
It's trippy.
yeah, it really feels like you have entered another dimension. And I don't know. I think back to, as a religious person, like I think back to Noah's Ark, and then I think of the guy singing somewhere over the rainbow way up high, and then I think of the double rainbow dude, and I'm like freaking out like the double rainbow dude.
Then you think of the gays.
Oh my God. No. No, not yet. honestly, I don't even really associate the rainbow to the LGBTQ community.
No, because
Like,
rainbows have lots of meaning. Because like you have like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You have the Noah's Ark rainbow. You have the gay flag rainbow. You have just rainbows. Period.
yeah.
Being what they are. Like
If anything, I think more of that like area of when I was in the double rainbow, like what Barbie movie was it? Like all the girls were riding on Pegasus and then they were like using their wands and they were in the clouds and they were bringing in color to the clouds as the sun shined in the morning.
I just know of other Barbie with rainbows.
Hold up, let me look at your Barbie movies and see if you have it. Keep talking.
I don't think so. I don't have any Barbie movies with Pegasi in it. I don't. La di da di da di da da di da di la di da 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 da. Sorry, it's just me here. Jonelle's like sitting here doing my movies. I'm just looking at my movies, trying to prove a point here. I told you I don't own it.
I can't find this Barbie movie now.
Oh well. But anyway, I think we're gonna let you guys go because we kind of hit our stride, and Jonelle's getting on. We're losing Jonelle.
No. We gotta get this before.
Oh my God, Jonelle! Why must you find a Barbie movie?
I was right. It's the Magic Pegasus.
Yeah, I don't own that one.
But it's such a good one.
I don't own that one.
Anyways,
I got Magic at the Rainbow.
goodbye, friends.
Bye, friends. See you next week.
We found it. Goodbye.
Bye.